Hey, I'm gonna try to do this astrology right now. You gotta bear with me. Last time I tried to show y'all the chart, but YouTube was like, no, can't do it. So if you see me looking up, it's because my TV's behind me and my phone stays dying. The laptop is gone, y'all. So I'm on my webcam um, through my little Chrome box. And no, I was just scratching my back. But anyway, um, I'm a little off right now. I don't know if y'all can see, but like I messed up. Got hit in the head a couple times the other day. So yeah, but we gotta keep it pushing. You gotta keep working. So let me see if I can. So I just want y'all to know when I come and I do the astrology for y'all, like I'm not reading nobody else's interpretation. I I don't keep up with the charts like I'm supposed to. I just look at them and try to tell you what it is. So um, let's try this one. I can't share, which makes sense to me because when I see other astrologers do stuff, they don't really share charts, and the only people that I see sharing charts, I see them endorsing whatever app or whatever they're using a chart for. So, they copyrighted me off the last live stream. Maybe I need like an endorsement, or maybe I just need to come up with my own app, which I do plan on doing at some point. Um, there's a lot of things in the work, but instead of waiting till everything is done, I'm trying to give you astrology now. So, gotta start somewhere. I feel more comfortable with this. Hopefully, y'all don't see as much. Okay, so right now we have Sun in Cancer, Moon in Sagittarius, Mercury in Cancer retrograde, which I've known and most people know that we've been in a retrograde mm, for the last week or two. I had to go look. Venus in Gemini, which is direct. Venus went direct last week, I think. Mars is in Aries. I'm so happy for that because now people are actually getting stuff done. We had Jupiter in Capricorn retrograde, Saturn in Capricorn retrograde. Y'all don't understand how sad I am that Saturn has came back into Capricorn because my Capricorn return is in Saturn. So unlike most people, I'm having two Saturn returns. Most people in their life just have their first Saturn return at one time, then their next one in the next 30 years. I'm having two of them. So it was like, yeah, we're going to give you a Saturn return. You're an adult now. And it's like, it's coming back like, oh, yeah, well, we forgot a few things about you being an adult. So we're just going to have it just hit you again. But I'm born with a lot of retrograde motion in my birth chart. Not a lot, but a few places. Um, and that, for me, makes me have to do things twice a lot. So Uranus is still in Taurus. Uranus ain't going nowhere from Taurus for a while, but I think it's about to hit my sun or no, maybe my Mercury. I don't know. But we're not talking about me. Neptune is in Pisces retrograde. Pluto is in Capricorn retrograde. North Node is in Gemini. Chiron in Aries, Lilith in Aries. And that's we don't talk about Chiron and everybody doesn't talk about Chiron and Lilith. I do. I love both of them. Um, in a way, I look at Chiron and Lilith almost like a north node, south node. Like Chiron is south node and Lilith is north node for me. But to me, they're the masculine and the feminine to me. Chiron being the masculine, Lilith being the feminine, because they both have a deep mix of both sides. Like all of us have masculine and feminine sides, but our gender, our sex, and our preference kind of determines if we're in a man's body leaning toward masculine things, a woman's body leaning towards feminine things. So, yeah. Okay. Moon in Sagittarius. Where is Sag compared to Cancer? I'm telling y'all, I'm off right now because I'm not 100%, but just bear with me. So it's not opposition. Opposition to Cancer would be Capricorn, but it's kind of like off a little bit. So that usually makes it like a negative thing. Like oppositions are kind of like fair, but I can't think of the name of what it's called when it's the next 30 over from an opposition. But that is not a good combination. I'm just going to tell you. So, how people are acting out of their emotions, with the moon being a Sagittarius, like Sagittarius to me, like, no offense, Sag, but y'all got problems, okay? And people emotions right now, moon being like your real subconscious thoughts and feelings, what you thinking has some issues. It has some like real carefree, wild, feel like you can be like that because Sagittarius has wisdom, even though they wild. But at the same time, like your emotions right now probably have, or your inner thoughts probably have a lot of, what do you call that? Disconnection, like non-attachment. And Cancer isn't really like that. Cancer can get like that, but Cancer is like loving, family, nurture, home. So emotionally wise, it being a water sign and Sag being a fire sign, it's like either your outward actions are putting out your real emotions, or your real emotions and how you subconsciously acting right now is burning up the water of your actions, whereas it done evaporated. Your emotions and how you're trying to display them, your subconscious patterns are clearing them out. So it's one or the other. One or the other is going to win. And it depends on your natal chart, of course, and the correlation to the actual transits. Um, Mercury and Cancer retrograde. Let's add the retrograde. We should start being able to talk about retrograde. So when we say retrograde, we're talking about the perspective that we have on this planet and how the planets look like they're moving to us. Retrograde means that to us they look like they're moving backwards, even though if we were living on the sun, they would all be moving forward. But for us and our angle and how we're rotating and how that planet is, it looks like it's moving backwards. So retrograde makes you go backwards or repeat. And Mercury In Cancer, it's like emotionally where we're thinking about emotions and we're thinking backwards about them. We're rethinking our emotions. Like if that's what's on our mind or what we think about is fueled emotionally, what we're thinking about and processing, we're kind of rethinking it or thinking about things that have already happened, already have came to pass. Venus direct, I don't know if it was direct already on the last video, but Venus direct is basically, well, it being direct is not the key point. Venus in Gemini is your emotions are based logically and by communication. So there's a little numbness right now. When it was in retrograde, it kind of does the opposite of what Gemini would do. That's how I look at it. Like, instead of being so logical or whatever, you might have been the opposite of being logical in communication, where you were feeling things more than feeling things more and your feelings being determined by what you feel, versus now it being direct in Gemini. The only thing that changes your feelings is what's communicated and what's said. So I just can't wait till Venus gets somewhere where it's comfortable at, because most of us don't like our emotions being determined by what's said. Most of us want that sixth sense, that deeper connection to be the influence of our emotions. That, like you might be speaking to somebody face to face, and right now you can't get no pickup or no feel of what's really going on. But usually you can feel the energy or feel the vibe of a person. Right now, that's kind of dead, because we got moon. Moon is also connected to emotions. And fire, Venus connected to fire. Aries, your drive, your ambition. Not Aries, but Mars, which is in Aries, another fire sign. Right now, everything is about action, 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 action. And we're basing everything off of action, but our reaction to it and how it's seen or how we thinking about it is very emotional, because the sun, which is our display of actions, and I'm sorry, I have a net in here and it's irritating me. And Mercury, which is what we think about, is in a water sign. So it's hard, no matter what the facts are, to not have an emotional reaction to it. Jupiter expansion is in Capricorn retrograde. And like I said, Saturn is in Capricorn retrograde. So where we've expanded, made money, grown socially, career, wherever Jupiter, whatever house is hidden for you or how it's correlating, whatever the effect of Jupiter, anything that you can think of that's expanded in your life, it going into that retrograde motion, which I had to see when it did, it's almost like it's either reanalyzing whatever has expanded or contracting that expansion, especially with Saturn being in retrograde too. It's like, it's almost, Saturn being in retrograde kind of sort of is a plus right now, because it's like re-looking at the things that structure your life, because Saturn is structure. And for some people, things that could have confined them are being undone right now with it being in retrograde. But it's kind of like you might not be restricted, you might not be confined, you might not have as much rules on your life, but Jupiter being in the same sign with it at the same time is kind of like you might lose whatever gains as well. So the best way I can explain it is like, say worst case scenario, like you were in jail or something, right? Saturn can be that much of confinement, but somehow you made some money in jail or made some connections in jail or something like that. Both of them being a retrograde would be like, okay, well, now you're not in jail anymore, but you've lost those connections and that money. So, which one do you want more? Freedom or expansion? That's kind of like the contrast. Uranus and Taurus, we already talked about. Uranus is, so let's say Saturn is the rules of law, and no, let's say Saturn is the law, the government. Uranus would be the rules and the markets and stuff that contribute to it. That's how I look at Uranus. But Uranus also has a certain way of tearing things down to start new. It's still in Taurus, so tearing down things of your senses, money, eating, things of pleasure, tearing them down, whether you like them or not, if they're not the right things, and building something new. But like I said, it is an 8-year cycle, so it's not nothing instantaneous. I wouldn't even be worried about Uranus and Taurus right now, really. Neptune is in Pisces retrograde. Neptune, I keep telling y'all, Neptune is somebody I really do not like to touch on. I don't understand Neptune. I can be honest about that. But Pisces is a water sign and it's retrograde. So whatever Neptune is doing is your like higher sense, like your God connection or whatever. Neptune is doing something to it for it to be reanalyzed because it's retrograde in Pisces. So, matter of fact, let's learn about it a little bit because it's not my thing. Which I don't mind taking my time because at least I'm here. Oh, okay, so that's good. Neptune is oh yeah. Well, it's good because it's in a good combination with it being with Pisces right now, but oh yeah. So Pisces, Neptune rules Pisces. Neptune is about spirituality, just like Pisces is, or not spirituality, but your God connection or whatever you want to call it. And it's retrograding. Like I understand you questioning God or your faith or what you believe in. You going back and re-looking at stuff like, hold on, wait. I get that. Like yeah, that's on point. Um, Pluto and Cat. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I like Pluto. A lot of people don't like Pluto, right? Like Pluto cool if you doing what you supposed to do. But if you not, out of everything, every planet that go around this astrology wheel, Pluto is gone. Ooh, Pluto will hurt you so bad. But that's why I like Pluto, because it's like if you do what you're supposed to do, man, Pluto is like a secret little, and it's because I have Pluto in my second house. So second house is things you possess or you master. Whatever you got in your second house, like you got it down when it comes to that. Like my significant other, ex, whatever you want to call him at this time, because whatever we're going through, he got Pluto in his second house. Like not Pluto, he got Venus in his second house. So I got Pluto there. So it's like as long as I do what I gotta do, I can have whatever I want to. Pluto, being in my second house, and second house originally is Taurus, which is like money and senses. It's like as long as I do what I have to do, learn my lessons and follow it, with it being in my second house, Pluto gonna throw me some bread. So with my dude or whatever, he got Venus and Libra in his second house. So what he owns Venus. Like when he'll talk some love and put some sensibility, some senses and all of that around you, like that's his superpower. He can make that Venus, that love stuff pop off. He own that. And guess what? Taurus, natural ruler of second house, when he do right by Venus and do Venus stuff and communicate that love stuff, because it's his Venus in Libra, guess what? Venus again. Some money. Like y'all really gotta learn this for real. But who was the last one? Transit. North Node and Gemini retrograde. I believe I'm saying that right. I ain't asked for mean. I asked for. I do think that's what it is, because it was somebody else's chart I was looking at. They got South Node and Gemini. But this is where my personal feelings about Geminis are. Y'all are crazy. Excuse me. Y'all super crazy. I don't like Geminis. I hate people who got Gemini in them, because it's just like them teeter totter things you playing when you was little. Up, down, up, down. They got, it's twins. It's two parts of them. I say every sign that got duality in it. Libra got two scales. Pisces got two fish. It's two of y'all. So, but the North Node being there is not so much about the polarity of things or the two-sidedness of things. But with North Node being there, people might have to play two sides at once to follow their destiny. You know what I mean? North Node is destiny, where things is going, where people supposed to be going. And your natal North Node is more important than the transit North Node, but it influences kind of sort of how you should handle your natal North Node. So we got to communicate right now. All of us, just the time that we are in with the North Node being there, you got to communicate. We got to communicate. And sometimes that's irritating or uncomfortable. Hey, Honcho. Harstrapathy? How you tell? I don't know, because I wasn't looking at the live chat, so I don't know exactly what you were talking about, but just a pause since I finally looked at it. If you want to know your birth chart, all you have to type in is astrology birth chart, natal birth chart, anything on Google. You put in the time and date you were born. If you don't know your time, that's fine. You're still going to get the majority of your chart, just not your houses and the place you were born. So the day and the place, all the planets you have, those signs that they're in, that's not going to change. The only thing that's going to change when you put your time in is to let you know exactly where those planets, what house they fall in. So you can still figure out a lot about yourself. You won't know what house is, but you'll still know the majority of everything about you. So just to put that in there. But what was I saying? Oh, I was talking about North Node. Yeah, man. Look, it's like we gotta communicate. We might have to play dualistic, which we all have a dualistic nature. We might not have two personalities, but we have um, traits in our personality that don't completely match, right? Like some people might, for their business, be very stern and very professional, and when they have their free time, they're totally wound down. That's a polarity in a way. So that's what's going on in North Node. I have nothing more to say about it because I'm not about to keep talking about Gemini. Because all Gemini wants you to do is talk and talk to you and talk, 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 talk. But 9 times 10, Gemini ain't matching they walk with they talk, okay? I'm going to do Lilith and Chiron since I love them so much. Lilith and Aries, Chiron and Aries. Boy, your wounds, the things that hurt you, but you done made it through to be stronger, are on fire right now. They screaming. Pay me some attention. It's almost like Chiron wants you to do it again. Whatever hurt you, do it again. Let's do it again right now. So we can beef up and be strong. It's like Chiron is like that big weight and you be doing in the gym and it tear your muscle down. But a couple days later, you thick, your muscle done built back up. Lilith with Chiron in the same sign, you don't really want them to be in the same sign because Chiron, even though it's masculine, is feminine, and Lilith is masculine, and they both in a masculine sign right now. Uh, Females not being masculine, it ain't gonna happen. Like, don't be surprised if in the midst of all of this Black Lives Matter protesting and all this other stuff, do you see the Me Too come back out again? Or you see women starting to be the frontier of the people that are taking action when it comes time to do everything. Because Lilith ain't gonna play with you. Lilith is like that mama that's like, I love you, I'm your mama. I'm doing this because I love you. And would give your ass a whooping, okay? And would go do whatever. Lilith is almost like the single mother. She not, that's really Juno, but Lilith is like, yeah, my daddy had a strong wife, a strong black. Lilith is like a strong black woman. Actually, that's what she is because Lilith is blackness, period. Lilith, everybody and everything in this universe come from Lilith, okay? So when you want to think about snap, snap, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get it done. I got my own, this, that, and third. That's Lilith. So Chiron trying to get you to build your muscles. Then Lilith like, that's how I do it through Chiron, through my wounds and my pain. But I'm already strong. Like, what's that lady? Stella got her groove back. Angela Bassett or something like. That's what Lilith probably look like. Oh, tight, muscular, that type of character. So both of them address, though, the point I was going to get to with both of them address your pains and your wounds and your hurts. And Lilith is the person that transform the ugliest and the worst of men or masculine things. Chiron will take and build you back up from the most vulnerable, weakest situations you could have ever been in, and will build up and put some masculinity to cover it up or put in front of it. So don't be surprised if you see people, if you see victims of heinous crimes all across the world being liberated, being empowered, being able to do better, justice being on their side. Don't be surprised if you see a murderer tell you, finally admit to you why he was a murderer, and tell you it's because somebody killed his mama in front of his face or something. It came from him being vulnerable, something very, very feminine or what you might think weak happening to him. And he decided to Chiron up out of that, because both of those being in Aries, we're addressing masculine issues. We going into the wounds of how men have been hurt and what makes them hurt or makes them wrong. And we're taking women and transforming it. But strong women are transforming it. And it's going to be a good thing. I'm glad that they're there. I'm glad they're there together. I don't think I have anything else to say about the astrology. I would tell y'all to have faith, but right now we don't even know where, what, or how to have faith in anything. So just on some higher level stuff, like watch what you're thinking about, what you feel about, how you're reacting, and try to be the opposite of everything I'm telling you that's going on. That's how I try to handle the transits, is try to, they say you're supposed to roll with them and be just like it. I try to be the opposite, or rely on what I see in my birth chart or my strong suits, and not let the transit, just the time, the immediate time right now, take me over. So that's my advice to y'all. And I'm gone. Bye.